Alright, so amidst all my other work, I'm back working on my buddy's Tacoma. This is a like mint condition. Well, it's covered in mud because I got stuck in my yard, but it's a mint condition 04, I believe, Toyota Tacoma, 4-door, 4-wheel drive, automatic, V6 3.4. And where we left off was I put this bumper on. And this company who makes this bumper, it's not fitting very well. Focus. And I've had to like use a die grinder to widen all the holes so they line up with the stock holes. So I think it's actually just held on there right now. I need to get a couple more bolts in there. And then I have skid plates for the radiator and on back all the way to the gas tank, sitting over here. So I'm going to try to put those on tonight. And then we have a lot of electrical to wire up. I do have the winch wired in, but the battery keeps draining. I'm not sure if it's just because the battery's old or the winch is shorting it. And then I need like a winch control and like some other things I want to do. So the lighting also. The lighting I have to hook up. There's 2 more lights, and I think the turn signals need routed in. I know the turn signals are up here. That was confusing me for a while. Those are just yellow lights, fog lights. So yes, that is where we are at with this, and the winch is hooked up and running. I have that factor 55 D-ring on there, and then we're going to do a rear bumper as well, but I haven't gotten that far. So my next step here is when I put this on here, there's all this garbage in the way. I think I might leave, we'll see if I'm going to leave this Toyota thing here or grind that off. I might grind it off. This is getting cut off. This needs trim back. So I got some trimming to do on the sides. Loctite all the bolts. And then I got some wire loom. And then, yeah, it still needs a decent amount of work, and I'm a bit over my time for this project. So let's get it on charge, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to start with plates or electrical tonight. One or the other, but yeah, let's see what we got. Alright, so I'm working on my buddy's Tacoma again. I made a very stupid mistake, and I mean, I guess it's an innocent mistake, but I made it. So do you see that hose clamp there? Well, I hit it with the screwdriver so it would turn, but if you notice, it's leaking coolant. What happened was when I tightened up this bottom plate here, the worm head, like the screw portion of that hose clamp, was sticking down, and I didn't notice it, and so when I cranked it up, I cracked the plastic on the bottom of the radiator. So I've been sitting here staring at this. I've actually been thinking about it for a long time, and I really don't want to pull all of the bumper and everything off. The reason being, some of the threaded inserts in there were already messed up, and I just kind of drove them home, and they're in there for sure, but yeah, I don't want to risk like not having that, and I don't really have help right now to help me get the bumper back on, and it took me several days by myself to get it up. So I'm gonna try to do, stay calm here, is I do have a replacement radiator. I hope it fits, because I've already missed the return policy. I'm going to try to pull the whole cradle out instead of unbolting the radiator here. I'm going to pull this whole piece of steel out. There are bolts in the front that grab that radiator cradle. So I've got it in here. I let it cool down. I'm going to pull the drain plug on the bottom and let it all drain out. Then pull the top hose off. Pull the shroud out, then try to get that radiator out without taking the bottom off. Another unfortunate thing, this is a automatic, so it has the transmission cooler lines down there, and it's super tight, and I know I'm gonna burn a lot of time trying to get those off, so because they're facing the wrong way, but I know most likely they'll probably be cracked, and I'll have to figure out how to replace those too. So I don't know, I'm like super mad at myself for this. Just that one stupid thing, or this thing would have been out of here and he could have been driving it. So nothing to it but to just start pulling it apart. It's got to be drivable. I mean, you could drive it with that little leak, but it's just not the right thing to do. So I'm gonna give it hell. Alright, so I got the radiator out. I was able to drop this plate just a little bit and get some wood shims under the bottom of the radiator in order to get the transmission cooler lines as well as the bottom hose fitting off. All the hose clamps were facing the wrong direction, so it was really hard. Well, they were facing the right direction, which was straight down, but straight down doesn't help me with this plate on there, so I had to get them all sideways. But I made a premature error here. So this radiator is actually fine. I had thought that when I cranked up the plate right here and it pushed on the hose clamp worm, it had cracked right here. This plastic's a little more resilient than I thought. That's cool. Smoking. I think it's fine. But, because I'm already here, I'm putting a new radiator in case there's a micro crack here. What I think happened was it ovaled this. It squished it, because this is actually a little bit pliable. So it squished it this way with the hose clamp, and it opened up this way. And then it was leaking on the sides. It was just deformed. So it really sucks. I've lost a lot of time here in frustration, and I've put this off for a while because I was so frustrated with it. It just goes to show you a little life lesson that this only took me a couple hours to figure out how to get apart. And if I would have just had patience from the beginning, I could have had it apart pretty quickly months ago, and not had to eat $200 for a radiator and coolant and transmission fluid that I have to buy. And if I would have been even smarter, I would have seen that hose clamp was going to push on that from the beginning. So life lessons. There's no better way to learn about life than to literally tear apart a machine and have it just kick you in the butt, because the machine doesn't care about you. It has no feelings. It will destroy you. And this one definitely has. I'm coming up having this thing in here for a year, and I got to get it back to the owner. And the boss garage, if you watch him, he's in the same boat. He's overextended himself with a lot of stuff like this, and has projects that have taken years, and it literally wrecks you. It takes a toll on you because you're always thinking of it in the background of your life day to day. So I think life lesson here, you know, this job landed at an inopportune time, and my life lesson is to be more patient, as well as not jump to conclusions, as well as try to take on less work, I guess. So, alright, I've rambled enough. Little rant. Let's put the new radiator in. I got it ready to go over there, so bang it out.